Yo, 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 welcome back. We're gonna draw some pictures. I've got this little scene that I'm working on, and it's not much at the moment. It's just kind of a collection of random nature things. And I'm gonna be adding to this just because, and also the unique thing about this picture, I've been drawing only on one layer, just a single layer. I haven't added any additional layers, just one. And I think it's so fun doing that. So I've also been using my Jeff Supercolor pencil for this whole drawing. Um, just trying to limit myself so I don't have to make as many decisions as I'm going along. And my glasses will not stay on my face. If any of you have this issue and you figured out a solution for glasses staying on your face, let me know. I would love to hear about it. I haven't found one yet that I like. Anyway, let's draw some pictures and we'll just talk about random stuff as we go along. Um, I'm just gonna add, what am I gonna add? I think I'm going to continue to add just random nature things as I go along. I think what I want out of this page, the goal is to have kind of like a 2-page spread. I have some drawings already of like insects that I'm going to add to this. This drawing is going to be like the backdrop for these characters that I already have. Um, so that's the goal anyway. And I want to keep this relatively simple, but also really colorful. I think that would just be a lot of fun. And I'm working on, like, why did I start working on this one? I'm working on a kind of an update to the way I present my work to potential clients and employers. So I don't know, every few months or so, this is a thing in the creative field. I am constantly working on new things and updating my portfolio to reflect that. And I want people to see the new stuff that I make because I feel, at least my goal is every new project that I take on, I want this to be a piece that I can potentially add to my portfolio. I want people to see the work that I've done. I want to be proud of it. And I want it to showcase the skills that I have honed over the years. So sometimes updating my portfolio can just be something that happens naturally as I'm working on client work. And sometimes it can also be something that I have to work at. Um, if work is coming in a little slower than I would like, then I still need to showcase my work and what I've been up to, just to show people that I am worth time and energy of hiring or contracting for whatever projects they've got going on. Um, and this one is kind of a mixture because I have illustrations that I've done years ago. And I'm really proud of these drawings. I should have put them up on the screen, but I don't have them ready to show. They're on my computer. They're not on the iPad here. Um, but yeah, I've had these drawings for a long time and they've just been sitting there. I haven't used them for anything. It was just like a personal project that I did years ago, and I'm really proud of how they turned out. And I got really good feedback um, from creative professionals about them, and I want to showcase them. And I also, like, I don't just want to drop them on a blank white page. I want them to like live and exist in their own little world. So that's why I started working on this piece here. This is going to be the backdrop for those characters. And sometimes it's just, it's fun drawing nature stuff. Um, I'm always inspired by nature. I grew up in a very green state, um, in Oregon and in Washington, and it's always just so green and beautiful. And I've always been inspired by that, and I love the chance to draw that kind of stuff. I'm trying with each one of these things. Boy, let me see. With each one of these little pieces, um, the overall color scheme, I mean, I'm sticking to my usual palette here. One, two, three, four. I've got four little palettes that I typically work from. And for each one of these items, I'm trying to add like a few shades of the same hue to kind of give it a bit more texture, but also give it that feeling of like almost like a flat color, but it's not a flat color. I don't know if that makes a whole lot of sense. Like adding a little bit of texture, right? Uh, this slight green here on top of another green. I really like that feeling. Like it's so subtle, but it's there. You can notice it. Your eye and your mind, it just registers as, oh, that's a green leaf, but there's actually quite a bit going on here. And I hope that comes through in the video. Like it's really subtle. It's really subtle, but um, it can just add quite a bit of character to each of these pieces and help make it kind of jump off the page just a little bit more. Right? Let me finish up this leaf and I'll add another shade. And I still, like, I'm not going for realistic like I typically I do very cartoony looking work, and I'm sticking with that in this one. But I do, like, I'm keeping in mind uh, realistic type of shading and being mindful of the shapes so they're recognizable and readable from a distance. Like that. Look at that. That's very cool. I like that a lot. And these little bits and pieces, I will probably, in the end, I'll copy and paste and kind of arrange that. I'll design this page later. At the moment, I'm just creating the assets for the final illustration. And sometimes, like, this is a completely valid way of drawing. There's not really, like, the only rules are the rules that you make up for yourself, right? Um, Illustration is wide open, and that's part of the fun. Um, Also, I do a lot of design work, and there's a lot of like copying and pasting and arranging and designing in the layout of everything that I do. Um, yeah, that's part of the creative process is laying out your page. And sometimes that can happen in real time as you are drawing. Um, and sometimes it can happen later, like once you've finished something, you can go back later and copy and paste and distort different parts of your image, um, add to it or take away, crop it. Eee, that's scary, right? And use references. Like that's another crazy thing. I was I was one of those in my early years as an illustrator that I thought using reference or tracing bits and pieces for your image was a big no. Don't do it. Don't do it. Um, and it depends. There's obviously, I mean, I don't want to say that you can just go out and trace over just random stuff that you see online. Like, you don't want to infringe any copyright. That's another thing. But um, especially in the design world, man, using stock images as references or tracing over pieces of stock reference to get the desired look, or like if you're referencing a hand or like whatever, a pose, um, tracing the outlines of that pose and then using that in your illustration, this is completely valid. Don't let anybody shame you about that. Obviously, don't take somebody else's work, trace over the top of it, and post it online and say, "Hey, look at this thing that I made." That's not cool. Um, but using reference and tracing bits and pieces to lay the groundwork for something bigger, I believe, is completely within the realm of acceptable. It's also useful for uh, study if you are still learning, if you're early on in your art career, tracing over somebody else's work just to get a feel for how did they compose this piece? How did they make the marks that they made? Why? Asking yourself the reason why do I find this piece so appealing, and how can I emulate that in my own work? Not direct copy, but how can I be inspired by and emulate stuff that I see from other people? Like I do that all the time. I see artists that, man, they just have a way with drawing backgrounds, and I wish that I was better at drawing backgrounds. And so I'll look and I'll study, like, how did they do this? And I'll try in my sketchbook, I will try some of those techniques of how I think they are accomplishing what they're doing, and I will incorporate what I learn from that into my own style. This is so helpful. So don't be ashamed to learn from others. Don't steal from others, but don't be ashamed to learn from others. Eh, that's okay for now. I think that's all right for now. Yeah, yeah, that might be okay. All right, maybe we'll draw, maybe we'll draw a couple more and then call it good. I'm just trying to get like little accents that I can kind of place around the page. Um, I'm thinking about, I don't know if I'll do this, but I may add like uh, some text to this layout later on. I may or may not. Um, just to showcase, I feel like a tough thing about marketing myself as a designer and illustrator is I have to kind of, I have separate portfolios um, showcasing the type of work that I do depending on the client that I am trying to work with. Um, and something that I would love, it would just be so nice if I could just showcase, hey, this layout, I designed it. And also the illustrations used in the layout, I drew those. I could just have one one portfolio that serves both purposes. All right. I may call it there. This has been fun, and I'm going to spend a long time on this piece. It's a big, man, that's a big piece, and we're gonna fill it out. But I'm so glad that you were here for part of it, and I hope that you learned something. I hope this was helpful for you in your creative career wherever you are at. And the brushes that I'm using, these custom brushes, I will have a link somewhere in the comments, the description, so you can download and check them out for yourself. If you want to support me and my work, then do all of the social media stuff, like and comment and share and watch and check out those custom brushes. If you purchase those, of course, that is a big help for me. And I really appreciate you guys spending time with me every week. I'm going to continue making these videos until who knows? Hopefully for a long time. I really enjoy doing this and I hope that it's helpful for you. And until I see you again, we will catch you in the next video.